So when this video is going to be released, it should be Wednesday the 24th of September, meaning that there is going to be an update this week after the fact that there was not an update last week, that being the game modifier and trials update. And the developers, after initially doing a blank thumbnail, they've actually updated the thumbnail so that it shows the Champion Templar as seen here. You also see the commando sitting down, and you'll see some speedy enemies walking past them, plus some normal enemies, plus some trapper traps, and then some other miscellaneous background items, including the engineer's gun and the minigunner. However, this I don't think is going to be the main actually it could be the main thumbnail for the game modifiers and trials update, but it doesn't really leak anything to us. It doesn't really tell us anything about the update in general. Now, it may be interesting to note that the game modifier updates may already be in Tower Defense Simulator, as Out of Bears says on the 19th of September 2025 that the games should be starting again. The Pirate Day modifier was causing the game to break, which triggers on the 19th of September, and it's been disabled for now. That's talking about the Pirate Day modifier. Now, funnily enough, Talk Like a Pirate Day is on the 19th of September, I think, every year. So yes, unlike some other things like a cowboy or like the Cowboy Day update or the Cowboy Day modifier, that is triggered on the wrong day every year, apart from 1 year, which is the year that the modifier was introduced. But this could be the case that the Talk Like a Pirate Day modifier was broken because there was already a game modifier update. Now, I can't concisely prove this, and if it's the case, then the update stuff or the game modifier stuff is already in the game. I speculate that there would be some modifiers that have been already leaked to the public, which could be added to the game, such as, I don't know if anyone remembers this, but for example, there used to be, or there was, a glass modifier to the game, which I think reduced the enemy's health but increased their speed, or something along those lines. In any case, that has been in the game for a while. It's only the case where only admins have been able to spawn it in, so I don't know what game modifiers could entail. And trials, I've speculated this in the past, it just sounds like a rebuffed version of mission quests, which could potentially include coins, because as I speculated previously, the current mission quests, they only give out their skin plus an XP, plus some other stuff if the developers were feeling generous, such as a name tag. They don't really give out any coins anymore. And I speculate that this could be the case because the trials could have replaced them. The only problem is trials could probably appear here. Oh, would you look at that? Talking about challenges, the challenge system in Tower Defense Simulator is also kind of outdated. So I wouldn't be surprised if developers also revamped this system and included it under trials. I mean, challenges aren't even advertised too much anymore. They're only in the quest, and you have to go to challenges here because there is no statue in the lobby talking about challenges anymore. And when the system was first added, it was kind of interesting because it was like one of the few ways of having like a differing quest every week. However, nowadays many people think it's just forgetful, given the fact that it's just the same 7 quests, smear challenges, just repeated over and over again. So I feel like this is certainly in need of an update. And you may have noticed it while loading in, but yes, Tower Defense Simulator has already gotten an update for its icon. It is the same-ish icon that the thumbnail uses for the game modifiers and trials update. But you may also know that the game has converted over into hand-drawn thumbnails now, because there is a new thumbnail, hand-drawn style, with the commander, scouts and the minigunner in what appears to be crossroads, and there's a plane in the sky. Now, in Tower Defense Simulator, there's not really any planes. Yes, there's the Ace Pilot, but the Ace Pilot doesn't look like this. This looks like a commercial plane made by either Boeing or Airbus. They're not really in the game, and I heavily doubt that this is a leak for a new Ace Pilot skin, which has a commercialized plane in it. Interestingly enough, though, the developers have kept around the graphical style thumbnail, and they do keep it around for the icon for Tower Defense Simulator currently. They have kept this one around, made by Jazeer. But it does seem like they are going for the hand-drawn style, and this is anecdotal news from Roblox Developer Conference. It shows that the developers do really believe in the hand-drawn thumbnails, and from the statistics from Roblox Developer Conference, it looks like it gains like 5% more clicks using these thumbnails compared to the graphical style. So I'd have to assume that this is the style that the developers are going to go down for future thumbnails. However, next we have this, the Wednesday, October 1st at 8 PM, question mark, question mark, question mark. It's the same question mark, question mark, question mark thumbnail that we saw previously last week. Now, it's been speculated that this is the Halloween update. Firstly, because it's the 1st of October, so it is the first day in October, obviously, and Halloween is on 31st of October, so having a months-long Halloween update could be feasible. However, I think it's more likely it's going to be released on the 15th of October, which is in 2 weeks' time from when this update is going to be, because I don't think a Halloween update will last that long, unless it's like there's like several acts and there's one released every week or so. However, that sort of implies that this wouldn't run until the 15th of October, so I still think that this is probably going to be some other update that's not related to Halloween. However, we do know that this is not the Tesla Tower update, because the Tesla Tower update that was speculated to be released in November now, although knowing some timelines do get pushed back, it could be 2026 when that is released. We also don't know the scale of this update, because obviously last week there was planned to be the Tesla Tower update, which was cancelled. And if you notice, when it comes to cycles on Tower Defense Simulator updates, there's normally one big update per month, and then there's one smaller middle-sized update per month, and then some small-ish updates in between each week, depending on the day of the week. Like, I don't know, if it was a takeover event week, then yes, there'll be that mini update released in between cycles. Whereas other weeks, mostly other weeks, there's not been any other updates to the game. Some people have also speculated that game modifiers could relate to sandbox mode, and it allows you to actually modify the game modes during sandbox mode, which the developers have said would be a thing. There was planned to be a wave building thing in sandbox mode. However, the developers have never got round to that. In fact, since sandbox mode was added, they've not really tinkered around with sandbox mode ever since. So I really doubt that this update is going to be a sandbox mode update. And also, many people have expressed, shall we say, frustration at sandbox mode because it's the paid product basically. And obviously, when it comes to paid products, not that many people really like them. It creates inaccessibility for players who don't have the Robux. Now, obviously, I can't really complain. I do have the Robux to actually get all of the features from Tower Defense Simulator when it comes to this type of stuff, and I really do benefit from the developers adding like features to sandbox modes. Obviously, I would be biased in saying yes, I would like to see some stuff in sandbox mode or new features in sandbox mode. However, yeah, I don't think the developers are going to do that in this circumstance. Also, I really hope Trials is something very similar to encouraging other players to play other maps, similar to how the Platinum Crate was back in the day, except the Platinum Crate, it only really encouraged you to play 5 or 4 different maps. I forgot how many maps it was to get a Platinum Crate. But even then, that system was a bit busted. The tracking system for the amount of maps that you actually completed was busted. And yeah, hopefully the developers encourage more usage out of maps in Tower Defense Simulator that's not just Crossroads, which everyone seems to pick and everyone seems to complain about. I made a video complaining about how everyone picks Crossroads, and some people said that actually, why am I complaining about people picking Crossroads? It is the best map in Tower Defense Simulator. It's only the best map because people keep playing it over and over again, and yes, it is statistically the best map. It's the easiest map to do things in Tower Defense Simulator. However, that's what makes it so boring. Everyone picks it because it is the best map in Tower Defense Simulator. There is no encouragement to play other maps in Tower Defense Simulator. And if the developers were to add a system where it rewards you from playing other maps, like on a per daily basis, like, I don't know, 100 extra coins for playing a different map, then I would like that. And hopefully that's what Trials does, but I really doubt it. Now, for any other update that it could be, we really don't know. The only thing that has been leaked to us is the fact that there is going to be a Halloween update. So again, I speculate that's going to be on the 15th of October rather than the 1st of October. But there is also the case where there is going to be a Christmas update. Now, it really shouldn't be speculated too much that there wasn't going to be a Christmas update this year. There's always, normally, a Halloween update and a Christmas update. And the only year when there's not been a Halloween update was the same update where we got the solar eclipse update. So it is speculated that we always get a Halloween update and we always get a Christmas update every year because it just brings in so much players and so much profit for the developers. When the Christmas update is going to be released is anybody's guess. Obviously, it's going to be after the Halloween update. It doesn't make sense to release the Christmas update on the 1st of October. If it's the case, I'll eat my pants because there is no way the developers release that. In some additional news, the developers have also gotten rid of the takeover event. In fact, I actually forgot. It was over here. It replaced the command statue. Now, the takeover event, I don't think is going to be that memorable. Like the classic event in Tower Defense Simulator is not going to be that memorable. But it existed, so I guess there's that. They have also gotten rid of all of the badges associated with the Takeover event, as they normally do after an event. They normally just disable all of them and hide them from view, which is fair enough. And as for anything else in today's update, who knows? Bug fixes, maybe? I don't know, there's like still 1,000 bugs to fix, according to that spreadsheet, so we'll just have to wait and see on that.